Hi everyone, Charles Whitney here on a Monday afternoon. Well, Cardinal Muller has some things to say about the curial reform that Francis is presenting. So I'm going to read to you the first paragraph here. The Vatican's former doctor-in-chief has strongly criticized the draft document containing Pope Francis's plans for an overhaul of the Curia, where doctrine is expected to take a backseat to evangelization, stating that the plans do not contain a convincing concept of the origin, essence, and mission of the Church, and pointing out that one passage of the document even contains shocking theological cluelessness. Okay. Well, I have a comment to make here, and that's, the Pope can't change doctrine, just like he wasn't able, or he didn't even try, actually, to change the teaching that remarried people can receive communion. He just got, apparently, the vast majority of the clergy, whether they agree with it or not, they certainly didn't say anything, to put into effect that, they can receive communion. But he didn't try to change the teaching, because you can't do that. You can expound upon a teaching or clarify a teaching, or I think you can do that with a doctrine also. But you can't change it. You can't go from it's not allowed in official language of the Church. You can't go from that to it is allowed. You can't change it like that. You can't go from black to white, regardless of how you get there. And the same thing is true of doctrine. So, I mean, what seems to me to be going on here is that by putting evangelization as over doctrine, that, he's downgrading doctrine to the point where anything he says under the flag of evangelization automatically overrules doctrine. I mean, why else is he downgrading it? He's got some kind of plan here, obviously. Now, if you just use your common sense, what should be more important? All right. So, what the Church believes in comes from sacred scripture and tradition, and that's where doctrine comes from. And evangelization is a flow from the belief system, that we hold as Catholics. So, to put evangelization, whatever that means, it's in quotes here, whatever that animal is, regardless, to make it more important than the doctrine of the Church. Your common sense should just tell you, regardless of, all the words and all the, twists and turns that people use to twist concepts around and whatever. Just your common sense should tell you, like, this makes no sense. Well, in terms of Pope Francis, it makes a lot of sense as far as I'm concerned, because this is his way of getting around some doctrine that he wants to get around, and he's going to do it under the flag of evangelization. That's what I think is going on. So I'll leave that thought with you, and you can put that in your pipe and smoke it. Where he's going exactly, I don't know, but, what pope, this is a pope that, just as any pope is to, protect and put forth the gospel into the world. In other words, call the world to the truth of Catholicism. And he just does the opposite. He wants the church to be friends with the world and make the church into a friend of the world, which is not the truth. And, he's leading a lot of people to hell. And so are all the clergy that won't speak up. He's got an awful lot of help. As time goes on, I get more and more angry at just the clergy in general about, I don't want to hear excuses about why they don't speak up. They all have their own rationalizations. They're not going to admit, yes, I'm a coward, they all have a reason, like, we'll just ride this out, this pope out here, and then we'll straighten things out with the next pope. That's no reason. That's that's no reason at all not for them to speak out. And they're all, they're concerned about themselves, their position. If I speak out, I'm going to, be a whistleblower, and I'm going to get in trouble with my bishop. And, forget about all that. I don't understand. These are supposed to be people that at one point in their life had a good relationship with Jesus, and apparently that isn't true anymore. The clergy, to say I'm disappointed in the Catholic clergy is like just a total understatement. Well, I'll leave it at that, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.